call this channel because I'm just learning that I'm autistic, which is liberating and scary all at the same time. It's very weird, but nonetheless, I think I'm going to call it because people are shocked, I guess, that I'm autistic. But anyway, it makes total sense to me. So I'm going to call it Ashley's Autistic? Question mark. Anyway, so I kind of want to talk about what it was like as a girl, female, whatever, in high school. Yeah, so high school. Awful time. I can remember being exhausted before I even got there, and like so tired when I got home. I always thought that I wasn't a sexually fucking harassing me, and if I would have known what I know now, I would have had you arrested, you stupid fucking bitch. Sorry. So that's the angry side of autism, but yeah. That was the kind of shit that was done to me, because I was an easy target, I guess. Clearly, they could see through all of my masking. I obviously was not as good at it as I thought I was, even though I was a very good student at studying these things. But yeah, like, that's the kind of shit that goes down in, like, deeply ingrained in me, those memories, because I could not figure out why a girl like me was such an, like, why were you so mean to me? Like, I was, like, not a mean girl. I was pretty nice to everybody. I mean, I did have my moments where I, obviously, you can see I get a little angry. But it was always really, really hard for me to ignore when other people were being treated poorly. But when I was being treated poorly, it wasn't as easy to stand up for myself in that moment. Fast forward to senior year, and I learned real quickly how to stand up for myself. But in the younger years, when you're trying to form those connections and trying to, like, understand who you are and where you fit in, and when you don't really fit in anywhere, and then when stupid bitches like Kira Jackson and Cassandra Hart decide to pick on you for not wearing a sports bra, was just like, why? Why were you just so cruel? I never understood why people coming, I always thought it was because I was, like, poor and didn't have a lot, lived in a trailer, my dad was gone. Like, I always looked at, like, my environment and thought, this is why I'm different. This is why I'm treated so differently, because I live in a trailer. Like, the dumbest stuff, right? But then I grew up and I realized, well, this person lived in a trailer. This person technically lived in a trailer too, but this one just had an addition, so it didn't look quite as trailery as my house. But so it wasn't where I grew up, it was literally who I was. I was not accepted because I was maybe trying too hard, or I was weird. Obviously I knew I was weird. I knew I was different. I knew I was awkward. I couldn't pick up on certain social cues. But I didn't understand why I really had to pick up on those social skills, because I always thought that social code, what was rewarded was being truthful, being nice, being honest, all of those things, and, like, correcting people when they're wrong, which is not part of the social code, but it is valued, I guess, somehow, some way, but it's not really, especially when you are like me, like, when you tell people that you're wrong and give them, like, 1, 2, 3 reasons why you're wrong, and, like, to a totally straight face, and not understand why after that they're mad at you. Like, I'm like, but I thought as a society we were supposed to value accuracy and all of this stuff, so why are you mad at me when I'm telling you why you're wrong? Like, I'm backing it up with facts, like, I'm citing myself. Like, I don't understand why you're getting mad. So I was like, I just was, like, so confused in life, because I was just like, why am I still being ostracized, but I'm being genuine, I'm being honest, well, I guess maybe not totally genuine, because I was faking a lot of things, but I didn't know what else to do, because, like, I knew I was awkward. I knew awkward people get targeted, but regardless of how hard I tried not to be awkward, I was still targeted, so it was very confusing. How am I doing all of these things and still, I'm still that cool? Okay, so there's a few things I didn't do, because I just never understood why. We were in, like, a northern, we were at, like, a rural school, very country, no fucking city. Like, our nearest traffic light was 30 miles away. So when people, like, in my school were so, like, lame and weird, they were weird. Like, I never understood why we all had to talk like we were in some gang or something, like gangsta rap or whatever. Not that, like, I don't like gangster rap, and I appreciate their culture, but I don't understand why we're like trying to pretend to be like them. Like, I feel like if any real person from like, you know, like inner city, I don't know how to say this without like sounding like I'm being discriminatory or whatever. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I never understood like why totally white kids who have never seen a city in their entire life thought that they were cool because they could talk like they were gangsters. Like, I feel like if a real gangster saw them, like, they would probably put a they would, I better not say that. They would probably, like, not like them at all. So, like, all these white kids are trying to, like, think they're cool because they can talk like somebody from a city that is hours away. I just never got it. I could not talk like that because I was like, I was so confused why people would talk like that. Like, I don't get why you think that's cool, because I feel like it's kind of disrespectful, really. But, you know, that was just me. Anyway, so this is going to be my new channel, I guess. And yeah, so I just want to talk about what my life has been like for the last 37 years as an autistic female. So